I mean, you've got to ask yourself if reporters ever question anything, right? Here we have the Nigerians who've just crossed the Atlantic and seem happy just to stay there on the rudder and be given a bottle of water. We see some legs back here. Presumably these guys don't want to move and enjoying their little stay in the rudder area. A fully laden ship, if the ship was fully laden, and it would be, the rudder would be actually underwater, which is, rudders are designed to be underwater. So this ship is unladen, which is why the rudder doesn't seem to be in the water. Exactly why they'd send a unladen ship across the Atlantic at huge cost, don't know, but they have to have the rudder above the water to make this silly Nigerian immigrant story work. The relief of the migrants, they thought the vessel was only travelling as far as Europe. Well, I would have thought after 14 days they would realise they're not going to Europe. The men had run out of food and drink on their 10th day. They'd run 4 men. How much water would they need per day? 2 litres at least per person, pretty much, especially in those conditions. 10 days would be 20 litres each. That's 20 kilos. That's a lot of weight, plus the food. So I'd be interesting to know where they stored their 80 kilos of water. Can you think of a place? 80 kilos of water and food would be 10 days worth for 4 men. And they don't seem, they look like they've just been put there, you know. That's what's happened, in fact. It says, the cramped conditions and the noise of the engine meant sleep was rare. The cramped conditions and the noise of the engine meant sleep was rare. Well, of course it would be. The noise of the engine, the cramped conditions, the noise of the ship, which was going at 20 kilometres. There's an incredible amount of wake in the ship, so it would be incredibly noisy. The engine, the propeller, the noise of the rudder, and of course the noise of the sea. He said, the noise of the engine meant sleep was rare. The men rigged up a net around the rudder and tied themselves to it with rope. I can't see any rope and net, can you? But anyway, who knows? Terrible experience for us, said, thank God. I mean, they like to use these names, thank God. One of the 4 Nigerians. On board it is not easy. I was shaking, so scared, but I'm here. Mr. Friday, Mr. Thank God and Mr. Friday, somebody's thinking Man Friday, have now applied for asylum. The other 2 men have been returned to Nigeria upon their request. I mean, come on. Imagine you'd made such a fucking journey. Would you just go back to Nigeria? Maybe they're hoping to get on another boat. I pray the government of Brazil will have pity on me. Oh, I'm sure they will. The remarkable journey underlines the risks some migrants are prepared, you see, underlines the risks. A shot at a better life. And wouldn't it be better for them to stay in Nigeria and try and make something of their own country? And crime had left them with no option. A Pentecostal minister. His peanut and palm oil farm was destroyed by floods. It says, maybe if they catch you, they will throw you in the water, he said. So we taught ourselves never to make a noise. I mean, can you think about it? Doesn't this make any sense? They couldn't sleep because of the noise of the fucking ships and the water. Can you imagine the amount of din? So they were actually, do you think the crew on board the ship, most of whom would be on the deck and they wouldn't be able to hear these people back here. They wouldn't be able to hear them at all. Clearly they wouldn't. But they said here, so we taught ourselves never to make a noise. So just think about the stupidity of it. On the one hand, they're saying it's incredibly noisy, and of course it would be. And the next thing is they're saying they told themselves never to make a noise, and they ran out of food and water after 10 days. Right? This story is just pure rubbish. Complete rubbish. After 10 days on the After 14 days on a ship, I wouldn't be taking a bottle of water from this guy. I'd be fucking flinging myself on the boat to get off. I wouldn't be staying there for 1 second longer. Look, these men seem pretty keen. Look at these guys back here. You know, it's a load of fucking rubbish. And again, we don't even know where this picture was taken. Maybe this picture was taken in Nigeria. And we've got an actor here pretending to be a Brazilian police officer, right? Speaking in English to these guys, not knowing if they can speak English or not, but surprise, the relief. Had run out of food, but survived by drinking seawater that was crashing just meters below them. And these are guys who are being very, very quiet. How would they get the seawater? What are they going to do? If they, with the boat going at 20 miles an hour, if they tried to, how would they get to the seawater? I mean, you can't drink seawater. Seawater is very salty and will dehydrate you. So that would be a waste of time. I think seawater is something at a 4% salt or something like that. So you can't drink seawater. But they wouldn't be able to access the seawater anyway, because if they attempted to put like a plastic bottle in the water, it would be ripped away from their hands by the 20 knots that 16 knots that they're going at. Everything about this story is fake, but it says here why you can trust Sky News. Well, I'm not going to bother trying to work that out, because you can't trust Sky News and you can't trust anyone. You can't trust Tom Gillespie. Tom Gillespie has done absolutely no due diligence on this story at all. He is just taking it as the story told. Media never ever investigate anything. Thank you for your time.